What's going on, guys? Happy Thursday. I'm GVO Go Home, and this is GVO After Dark. This is actually number 54. I've done 54 of these, and no signs of stopping now, I guess. So this is actually the fourth season, and this is episode number 6, and we're in May. Telling you things you already know. So yeah, we'll get started soon. I normally start around 8 o'clock, but I jump on a little bit early just to say my hellos to everybody who does like to show up early, like Roger and Mike and Dwight and Anthony Dodge. And did I say Brian yet? Brian Ferguson and CP Whiskey Creek Caden Scale. How's it going? And Ethan. Hey Ethan, how are you tonight? We got quite a lineup tonight. It's not going to be the normal show that we normally bring you every month. Unfortunately, not only are we missing Dave, because Dave Co is on hiatus. Mark M&M Rails, he won't be joining us tonight. He's got some other obligations, and he'll be back next month, hopefully. But yeah, we'll have another co-host. I do have a co-host for tonight. And we also have a special guest that'll be coming up in just a little bit. So stick around for that because can't stop this train. So tonight we've got news about CP going green. We've got new stuff in store from Rapido. New announcements from Athern and Rapido. Got that special guest that I was telling you about. The YouTube meet and greet info. You can see I got a poster made. This was originally done. Now I did the model railroad meet with the background and the YouTube, and then I sent this off to Bernard at Mini Prints, and then he actually added all the little logos for all us guys here that are kind of, that will be there, right? Like some people that you'll recognize. You'll recognize this guy, DJ from DJ's Trains. Tim, that's Tim, that little frowny can there. That's Tim from They Make It Like That. And then M&M Rails. M&M Rails, that's his logo. And that's the mini print logo. That's from Bernard. And of course, Mr. 107 himself, Sparky. So it'll be good to see everybody, be able to get together and chat. And you know what? That's like next week. So not this weekend, but next weekend. And we're coming up on it real quick. And who would have thought that was just an idea that was thrown out there on one of Tim's lives. And I think Tim was pushing a 2-hour stream there one night, and I think someone said, "When's the GVO meet and greet?" And I'm like, "Well, nuts to the the GVO meet and greet. Let's all just meet and greet, right? And get everybody together." And I found that a somewhat of a good area was Tilsonburg, where Otter Valley is my favorite shop. So along with getting to meet everybody, we get to do some shopping. I'm very excited because I go down usually about once a year. Takes me about I want to say 7 hours to drive from Ottawa to Tilsonburg if I'm going straight there. But I think what the plan is for myself, I'm coming down on the Friday, and I'll be stopping at Mini Prints, Mini HQ. So that'll be my Friday. And then I think I'm staying in Mississauga or something like that. And then I haven't booked the hotel yet. I always do everything last minute. That's how I am. Yeah, then I'll be making the 1.5-hour journey from Mississauga down to Otter Valley Saturday morning. So, which is great. And I can't wait to see you all there. So that's exciting. Along with that, you guys, well, most of you or some of you, either or, just watched Keeping Track. I do that at 7 o'clock. That goes live. We'll talk about that. Seems that a lot of people either have or have tried or love the CMX cleaning car. I can't say enough good things about it, and my layout is like running so well. And I want to thank Dave for that, because Dave, he got it before myself, and I've had it on my list, but there's always something that comes out, you know, and you're like, cleaning car or SD40-2, you know, and then you're okay, SD40-2, and then F59 or cleaning car. I'm gonna get 4 F59s. So yeah, it always got pushed to the back burner. My nose is itchy. I think I'm gonna sneeze, which is not great for me and for anyone else around. But okay, no, we're good. We're good. Yeah, we'll talk about the streaming schedules for next month as well. Nope, it's still there. Anyways, so yeah, so what we'll do, because it's 8:02, and I've already basically told you about the intro and whatnot and what we're doing in this show. Let's get right into the news, and we'll do the normal stuff, and yeah, we'll be all right. So I had mentioned to you guys like a while ago that CP was doing a hydrogen powered electric train, basically. So there's the ATCO group says it's reached a deal with Canadian Pacific Railway to build 2 hydrogen production and refueling stations in Alberta. The Calgary-based structures and logistics company says the stations will be built at CP Rail's Calgary and Edmonton rail yards. They will be used to supply CP's hydrogen-powered locomotive program, announced back in December of 2022. I'm sure you guys remember that. I don't think I ever showed you guys a picture of the train. It looks pretty sweet. It's all gray, and then there's some blue and green accents to it. Very sharp, very sharp. And they all had meanings too. Like the green is for renewable energy, and the blue is like the ocean, and all that fancy. I don't know. The marketing people for CP. I mean, they're nuts. So in a good way. But yeah, CP Rail set out plans to design and build North America's hydrogen-powered loco using fuel cells and batteries to power the loco's electric traction motors. The hydrogen infrastructure at each CP site will include 1 megawatt electrolyzer, compression, storage, and dispensing infrastructure for loco refueling. And the construction starts later this year and ready for rollout in 2023. So you can expect those locomotives to be hitting the rails within the next year or so. So that'd be neat. Why didn't you get a link? I'm gonna see if I can send this link again, because I thought I sent the link. Give me 1 second, guys. My bad. Reply. I'm gonna forward to. I'm gonna see if that works. My co-host didn't get the link. Resent link. You guys are my proof. I just sent it. Hey Derek, how's it going? Steve 87th, how's it going? Yeah, it's gonna be weird, especially like we've got Via Rail and they've got their electric locomotive, or fuel efficient or whatever, and it seems to be the way that a lot of rail companies are going. They're trying to be more nature friendly, I guess you could say, trying to build a sustainable future and whatnot. On one hand, I think it's great. On the other hand, I'm sure going to miss a lot of these big diesel, smoke spewing, awesome sounding locomotives, because yeah, that's it's going to go away eventually. Oh, well, it happens. Speaking of big, noisy locomotives that are going away, still nothing. My guy. Okay, I'm going to try this. Sorry, guys. Copy link. And then I want to send link, paste. You know, they call them smartphones, but I don't think they're very smart. Mark is, yeah, he has some prior engagements. I mean, he's a teacher, so who knows what it could be. Hey, K-Town, how's it going? Thanks for joining us tonight. Okay, yes, big noisy locomotives. Athearn finally announced their HO scale Athearn Genesis P42 via rail diesel locomotive. You'll be able to get a DC version for $235 or a DC sound version for $343. I believe that's just MSRP, but you know, do your shopping, shop around, see what you can find. And yeah, I've seen where like even the F59, like I only paid about, what was it, $310 to $320 each, and I've heard of people paying over $400 for one of those. So it pays to shop around. So yeah, with the Via Rail that they're doing, you will get the Love the Way, which has never been done. The Poppy unit, again, never been done. And then they're doing the Renaissance in the teal. It's like a teal green. I'm not sure what you would call it, but it's almost like a turquoise. There was two versions of that. The earlier version was more of a blue, like a royal blue-ish, very shiny. But I'm sure they'll save that for the next one because they've already done that one quite a bit. So, and then also with Amtrak, they're doing the Operation Lifesaver, which looks really nice. Which, you know, you'll be able to get the Phase 4, Phase 3, Phase 5, and you're looking at about $332 with sound for those. I'm actually considering the Operation Lifesaver just because it looks so nice. It's the all black one with the railroad crossing symbol that's like plastered right onto the front. Very sharp looking locomotive. Then we've got Athearn. Athearn, this was definitely their month for making Canadian product because they also announced the SW1000 switcher. Now with that, you get a Via Rail, and then there's a bunch of other ones like Burlington and Quincy, Rio Grande, BNSF, SSRX Leasing. There's two numbers of each, and a lot of them were not offered before with sound. So you can get one for DC 222 or a DCC sound 323. They had done the Via Rail ones in the past. They did 3 different numbers, and yeah, no, they didn't do the one I liked. There's one that has a nice blue stripe across it. I really like that one, but they're not doing that one this time. So a little unfortunate, but and of course they had to retool it in order to fit like the speaker and whatnot in there. And I think it's supposed to be a dual speaker, which is kind of neat. And they do the tsunami sound. So also Rapido announced the Canadian style piggyback flat car in both the CN and CP paint schemes. You can get a single for $65 or a 6-pack for $390. It's a good way to build your fleet if you have an industry where you do have a lot of piggyback trailers, and there's a bunch that you can choose from. I'm not sure if they're sold separately or if they're sold in a pack, but I know that they did have piggybacks before that were sold as is, and then you can buy trailers separately, but which is probably the case. So with the piggybacks, the 26 and 45 foot trail mobile trailers go for $38. And then you get like CN, CP, Smith Transport, Taggart, Wilson's, and a bunch more. So make sure you pre-order your stuff, get your pre-orders in, especially for those P42s. That was extended another 2 days. So you've got 2 more days to get your pre-orders in. Get them in now. So yeah. New in store. Rapido actually put out a book. So the book, People Moving People, The History of Via Rail, by Kevin Holland, $64 at Otter Valley. Very nice, lots of very nice color pictures, and there is also words if you do like to read the books. Me, I would just be too captivated with all the awesome pictures of all the Via equipment over the years. So if you're a collector of nice books, then yeah, definitely makes a nice centerpiece for a coffee table as well. A nice conversation piece for a coffee table, I should say. Split Rock, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. And of course, the Rapido Impala and Capri cars, they have landed. They're $28 each. There's different colors and styles of each. There's taxis and police cars. And if you go to Otter Valley, they have an exclusive, which is a combination of Rapido and mini prints. You can get the police and perp set, which is a 5-piece set for $12. And you can add those to your scene to bring your police scene and layout come together, right? So that'll be neat. So normally by now I have a co-host. It's going to be one of those nights. That's totally fine. Totally fine. We're just, oh, wow. It's like I called it. Hopefully he's ready. Yeah, he's ready. He's good. He's good. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. I got 2 thumbs up. Okay, so he must be double ready. Okay, cool. Okay. I know him as Tim, but you might know him as They Make It Like That. So my co-host for tonight will be Tim. Hey, Tim.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so we don't have any mute issues this time.
No, you know what? It was some of the best advice my wife ever gave me. I told her I was doing a live today, and she said, make sure your mic is on. And I said, you know what? That's so crazy. It might just work. So
yeah, that's good. That's good
advice this time. So
it's very smart.
Very smart.
So I didn't catch any of the first part of your live because I was running around frantically, but I'm here now.
As dads, most of the time, us dads are running around frantically.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I'll have to catch the replay tomorrow or something, but it's all good.
No, it's all good. And Mark, where's Mark? Is he at your place?
No, I've never met Mark.
No. Well,
we talk constantly. We talk every day, and I've still never met him.
Well, you might have the chance. Did you hear about this, Tim? Did you hear about this?
I think I did. Yeah. I mean, my picture is on the poster, so I think I knew something about it. Yeah, a little spray can guy.
And we'll be seeing you next weekend, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, cool. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
I've said it before. I've never actually been to Otter Valley all these years.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's not really that far away from me. It's what, an hour and a half away?
Yeah, more
I've driven farther for less.
Yeah. Like when I calculated it, I calculated from like, I think square one in Mississauga there, because that's probably where I'm going to stay, like in and around that area.
Okay, and right on.
It's about an hour, 30 minutes, unless you're riding a bicycle, then it's 8 hours, 9 hours. So
that's awesome. Yeah. My boss actually just did a run to Montreal yesterday.
Oof.
He left Vaughan at 5 o'clock in the morning and drove to Montreal, did 2 deliveries in Montreal and then 1 delivery in Gatineau, and then came home, went to bed, and was at work at 8 o'clock this morning.
Jeez.
I don't know how he did it.
I mean, I've done like all the way to Otter Valley and back in one day, and
that's just a suicide mission.
Oh, hardcore. I actively choose not to do that anymore. Once was good because it usually, like, you do that in one day, and because I like to be there early enough so that I can leave early enough to get home early enough. And my version of that is leaving at like 3 or 4 in the morning, which already is not a good idea.
Right.
Because it takes, like, I was saying earlier, like 7 hours just for me to drive down there.
3 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's usually when I go to bed.
Yeah. Sleep? What's that? No, you don't.
Right? I don't sleep.
But no, it's gonna be good. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's talk about that, because that's coming up next weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend. So that's the 4th of June. That creeped up real quick. Do you remember when we talked about it on your live? And some guys had mentioned, when are you guys doing a GVO meet and greet?
Yeah, it was kind of just a spur of the moment in the chat during a live kind of a thing. It was my live, you said, right?
Yes, yeah. It was one of you were going ham. You went like 2 hours or 2.5 hours.
Yeah. I'll have to watch that one back. But it's funny because I wasn't really 100% paying attention to the chat. And then I kept looking in and people were just naming off dates. And I'm like, what are all these dates about? What are you talking about? And I remember June 25th kept coming up.
Yeah.
And that's my son's birthday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is everyone talking about my son's birthday? What's going on?
We're preemptively planning a surprise party for him.
Right?
But no, because I think with the fact that the summertime, like, usually it's nice to get out in the summer. A lot of people stop doing the the whole modeling thing. I mean, I'm usually an all year long modeler myself personally, but it's good to get out. I think that we've been locked up way too long.
Oh, for sure.
And as long as I've been doing this, I know that there's a lot of people that I talk to on a regular that are always in the chat, and people that I've met from the chat that now I talk to, over the phone, text message and whatnot. And I mean, that's how it started with Dave. I messaged Dave randomly, and then we grow into friends. Same with Mark and whatnot, and now you and I. So it's good to be able to meet everybody. You and I, we've only met once in person. You came by and you did that expose on the layer
inside the modeler's studio.
Yeah. And it's just, we have such an awesome community, and I can't say it enough that when you are so passionate about something, you love to share it. And what better way to share it than sharing it with everybody else that feels the exact same way. And it's great.
Absolutely. And the other thing too is, there's not, like you said, a lot of people only model in the winter time, which I totally get, because there's like 25 minutes of summer in Canada. So a lot of times people don't really get together or don't really do anything train related in the summertime. So it's just kind of a cool way to say, you know what, it's not a show in the traditional sense where you're in a basement. and you know, like a church basement or in a rec center, but you're outside having fun. Like obviously we're going to be in the store as well, but I mean, I have a pretty good suspicion we're going to spend a lot of time outside as well.
Oh, for sure.
As long as the weather holds up, which who knows?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like you never know what you're gonna get, you know, here in Canada, right? I mean, you were hit with that storm as well, right?
My goodness, the whole world was hit with that storm. It seemed it was insane.
Yeah.
Luckily, I didn't have any damage or anything like that. My brother, I don't know if he's watching now, but my brother was out of power until today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like he lost it obviously Saturday, and then got his power back today. So like I don't understand how he survived, but he had a generator. He'd throw the generator on to make himself a coffee, and then charge his phone for a little bit and turn it back off again.
Yeah, even for myself, like I was out on Saturday and I got home just in time because I had picked my wife up from work, and no sooner did we get home, the power goes out. I was all ready to work at 4 o'clock, and I didn't work for like 3 days there because I had no power.
So, right, and you work from home, you need the power.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. No internet, no TV. One of my kids was actually camping, so it kind of worked out for, you know, him in that sense, but all of us where, you know, I made craft dinner on the barbecue, so
that's awesome.
I didn't think it could be done, but then it was done, and
it doesn't get much more Canadian than that.
Honestly, except for the fact that I don't put ketchup in my craft dinner. I know a lot of people do.
No ketchup.
You're good with okay, cool.
Bare bones.
Cool.
Bare bones. The way it comes out of the box. That's how I have it. Maybe some hot dogs, but we'll cut up hot dogs in there, but that's about it.
Oh yeah. That's how you do it.
For our American friends, we're talking about macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, the box stuff.
Mac and cheese. It's called craft dinner in Canada.
Yeah.
But hey, can I plug the video from last week?
I wanted to give you kudos. I wanted to give you kudos before you do that though, because this was your brainchild. This was your baby. You came to us and you said, "Let's do something fun," and we're like, "Yeah, sure. What do you got?" You know, so you took the time. You wrote up a script that was solid, and you know, all we had to do was film some bits, and I had to part my hair, and that was literally.
Nobody asked you to part your hair.
You know, I think without a hat,
you became that character.
I had to become that character.
Yeah,
I'm like the opposite of Superman. You know, like most of the time I'm Superman, but then I go as, you know.
Clark you had to be Clark Kent for just a second. Yeah. I get it.
But yeah, go ahead.
Know the struggle. People don't know the struggle we go through.
I don't have my own hair and makeup lady. You know what I mean? Like I could have asked my wife, which she did say, "Why didn't you just ask me to do like the filming?" And I'm like, I don't know. You seem busy. You know, you got your own thing going on, right? So
yeah.
I don't know, but
what I wanted to say, if you've seen the video, I did the weather segment just jokingly because like, who's gonna know the weather like 3 weeks in advance? But I just pulled up my app. And I'm looking at Tillsonburg weather for next Saturday because now it's on there.
Uh-oh.
Do you remember in the video what I said it would be?
Between 0 and 26?
I said between -13 and 27.
Yes.
But I said I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's gonna be 20 degrees.
20 degrees.
Is this gonna focus?
It is kind of fun. Oh, there we go. What am I looking at here? Okay,
look at the bottom there, Saturday.
Yeah, 22. Is that 22?
22. And sunny.
That's a pretty good guesstimate there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna quit my job and become a meteorologist.
Why not?
You get paid to guess. And if you're wrong, well then oh well. And if you're right, kudos.
I was never one for looking at the weather or looking at an app. I'm accustomed to looking out my window. You know what I mean? What does it look today?
Well, the immediate forecast.
Yeah. And especially when there's a 50% chance of showers. Yeah, but there's also a 50% chance that it's not going to shower. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand this logic.
I always laugh when the app says that, like, the current weather, it says 100% chance of rain. Like, can't you just look outside and see that it's raining?
There's 100% chance that if I look out my window right now, that it's raining, you know? And
Right.
that seems to be the logic, but I know that there's a deeper thing there with it, but it's great for observational humor, but yeah. Hey, Sparky's in the chat. How's it going, Sparky? And Wigwag Workshop, how's it going?
Hello. And Sparky's gonna be there on June 4th, yeah?
Yeah. I'll show this one more time. I got some printouts, and I got the 6 of us some hard copies. They're yeah, and then I got a bunch printed. I think I got about 20 of these printed. So if anybody wants one, come see me, and you can have one. Yeah.
Sounds
Get them
great.
before they're gone.
Sounds great. I know where mine's going on the wall already.
Do you?
Yep, I got a spot for it.
Oh, is it like one of these walls, or is it like?
No, it's actually going on the back of my door. I have another poster there, of some cars.
Nice.
A poster of my brother's car, and then yeah, I'll put our poster there.
I had an extra frame because I wanted it to be as close to was it 17 by 11, something like that.
Okay.
A little shorter than that, but it'll fit in a 17 by 11 frame, which I happen to have. I have a bunch of those. Let me double check something. Sorry. Uh-oh. Okay. Huh.
What happened?
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I have to check on a couple of things, but yeah. I get text messages. No, it's actually Sparky that's messaging me. I don't want to, interrupt anything, but yeah. So it's
Quit interrupting, Sparky.
I just started text messaging him while he's on his lives.
There you go.
Sparky.
I was glad that you didn't have your notifications silenced, because when you were muted that time, I was trying to text you, and your notifications were on mute. But today, when I didn't get the link, I'm like, dude, I hope he is unmuted.
Well, the funny thing is, I normally put it to do not disturb, so it wouldn't make any sounds or noise. It would just give me a pop up and say, this is what's going on. But I had it right here in front of me, because literally when I was muted that time, my phone blew up. I think I had at least, like, you'd swear there was a new VIA model that got announced, right? Same exact same thing happens.
I think I must have messaged you like 20 times.
It's all good. I think everybody in the chat who has my number or some sort of communication to my phone, be it iMessage or Messenger or something, told me to speak louder. We can't. So it's funny. You do one thing wrong and it carries you on forever. Well,
right?
It's all good. It's all good. Bernard wants to do a plug. Bernard, you want to do a plug? If you hang in there, Bernard, I'll send you a link, and you can join us. But I've got another guest coming up soon. I'm gonna say soon, because I timed it for 8:30, which it is currently 8:30. So I'll email you the link, because I can do that. I'm gonna do that, and then just you can jump on after. No rush.
Hey, Chris.
Sup?
This is the most helter skelter live ever. Can I invite on another special guest?
Probably.
They're in my house, so you don't have to like do any kind of links or anything like that. It's my
Oh,
daughter.
oh, oh, okay. I was gonna say, is it a guest?
Yeah,
And
it's my
hi.
daughter really wants to come on the live apparently.
Okay.
I'll
What we'll
be 2
do?
seconds.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
All right.
Because we got the other special guest coming up real soon, so we'll have to do that as well. Bear with me, everybody. Sorry. Yeah, I told you this is not like the normal GVO After Dark that you've come to expect. But at the same time,
What can you really expect?
expect the unexpected. But I feel like,
Exactly.
you know, the worst that could happen is that my power goes out right now. So
Well, on Sunday. I don't always catch your live on Sunday when it's live, but I usually try to
yeah.
catch either the tail end of it or the replay. And yeah, there was no live. There was not even like a mention of it, or like a post saying sorry I can't do it. But then when you said you didn't have power, I'm like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, the sad thing is that I was at the point where I exception, so I was lucky enough to be able to call my work hotline and be like, "Hey, no power, obviously, and that's why I can't work." And that's all I could do. I couldn't send text messages. I couldn't watch YouTube. I don't think I got Disney Plus back until at least Tuesday afternoon.
Oh man.
Yeah.
What could you have done? You couldn't watch Aladdin. Oh no.
Well, the kids were home, so we wanted to watch that Chip and Dale movie. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was good, by the way. It was good. I'm not going to review it here for you, but spoiler free.
That's good. That's good.
So now you've got a little one with you there.
Yes, this is my youngest daughter, Adelaide.
She is adorable.
Say hello. Can you wave? Say hi.
She's kind of got. Oh.
She sees herself on this computer.
Oh, okay. How old is she?
8 months.
8 months. Jeez.
Just turned 8 months.
Is she saying anything yet?
She says dad, and she says mom sometimes. And then she can voice her opinion, but no words come out. She just sounds angry.
Yep, and and that never ends either.
No,
Once
it
they
really
start
doesn't.
voicing their opinions.
Show everyone your Monte Carlo.
Ooh.
My kids play with cool toys.
That yeah.
They're usually transportation related.
Did you drop the hammer on that? Is that
I'm
low?
sorry?
That's ultra low, isn't it? You got lowered suspension on that.
It's quite low, yes, and it's got slicks on the back. It's hard to see in this light, but it's got slicks on the back. Real skinny pizza cutters on the front. This thing's ready to go.
Oh man.
And it's got a LS Corvette motor in it.
Nice.
All chromed out. Yeah, this thing will rip.
That is so cool.
It's actually Teo's, but she takes it from him all the time. I think she likes the color.
Oh yeah, I like the color. Jeez. So
I'll gladly take an 86 Monte Carlo for a spin.
Exactly. So we have our guest down below, and he's going to be joining us right now. So it's fitting that we have this guest on because I've already met him, but a lot of people are going to be meeting him for the first time next week because we'll be going to Otter Valley. We've got with us tonight Mr. Lorne James.
Evening, gents. Evening.
Lorne, how's it going?
It's like 10,000 things at once. I'm sorry I'm 4 minutes late.
It's all good. It's a very chill night, as you can kind of tell. So we're just hanging out and talking shop, and we're talking about the meet next week.
Yeah, the meet next week, that's going to be really exciting on the on June the 4th.
Mhm.
We just had a monster load of inventory come in, so store's full. The store is like crazy full, and
Did we lose you there?
oh, I was just waiting for your little one.
Oh, sorry. I can mute myself if you want me to.
Oh, I like children too.
Well, that's good. I have a collection of them.
Chris will remember I used to bring Izzy on the videos.
Oh, there you go.
Mhm.
Yeah. So.
Do you have more kids than trains? Because I feel like I do sometimes.
No. I have just Izzy. Just give me 30 seconds, Chris. I actually have some pictures that I'm going to share later tonight with you guys. I'm just pulling them off my my server. Really cool pictures. So yeah, the event's June 4th at the shop. We're gonna have pizza and drinks for everybody. So let us know when you get there if you're gonna have lunch with us, and if you have any dietary, i.e., you need vegetarian or non-vegetarian pizza. And yeah,
It's very nice of you to have us all and host us at the shop there, because I know a lot of these guys haven't even been there in person. Some have, of course, so they kind of know what to expect. But for those who are making the trek out there, it's going to be a whole other worldly experience for them walking through there, walking down those aisles.
it's gonna be an overwhelming awesomeness,
Mm.
literally. Um, Try picking orders in the jungle sometimes. It can be sometimes my staff think I'm absolutely crazy with how much inventory we bring in. But, we have one of the biggest selections in the country. Some stuff we have some of the biggest selections in the world. So, we're stocked for a reason, and generally we're stocked deep. And I've tried to prevent myself from having huge inventory shakedowns from still the side effects of the current ending pandemic and the current supply chain shortages that are still rippling through many industries. So we've been stocking up and trying to weather as many of those production cycles and ups and downs as there is.
Hmm.
I mean, that in itself is a challenge in itself, honestly, Chris.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how you do it some days, especially with what we've been through the last couple of years, but still hanging in there, still going strong, and, you know, just like an unstoppable locomotive, can't be stopped.
Yeah.
Do you find that there's like a lot of product that is still really hard to get a hold of?
Electronics is still going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge for every company, whether you're a retailer like myself or even if you're an OEM supplier. It's very tricky to know where the trend lines are going to be, what's selling, what's not selling.
Mm.
Um, I mean, the old added is like you chase inventory, and then next thing what you chased is no longer in demand. And it's like, okay, that happens, and that's the function of the hobby, and that's like, that's the function of where people are at right now. So yeah. And I
Do-
also think too that people are migrating from the basement to other avenues, i.e., tourism, travel. Um, I mean, the outside backyard DIY. There was a huge like rush on that stuff for a long time. I mean, it's still like um, a long wait for like our fridge went this weekend. It's like 30 to 90 days for a fridge. I'm like, So that's cool. Can I have a cooler box from Robinson family in the meantime?
And then trying to find ice at the same time, like gas stations aren't even open because they've got no power. They can't put through orders and whatnot,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's tough. It's a tough economy in general. When there's product that you need and there's a high demand, but there's low volume of the products. You still manage to still bring in quite a bit though, and keep your shelves stocked. And even with the decoders, like decoder shortage is crazy, but you just got in like 100 and some odd lock sound ones.
Between all three versions, we had 420 come in.
Oof. DCC for days.
But you get guys that are doing swath of decoders, like swath of units, and next thing you know, they're buying 4, 8, 10 in an order.
Yeah.
Now the latest problem is like programmers. If you're using an ESU programmer, you have that issue.
Yeah. Well, I know firsthand about having issues programming something if you don't have a ESU programmer. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Mark knows all about that too.
Oh yeah, he had issues with his 7022, I think.
So I mean, there's those struggles, but I mean, a lot of those struggles are also starting to impact manufacturers. I know some manufacturers, they just can't finish their sound locomotives because they can't have chips, so they are sending them either DCC ready and having the consumer put the chip in afterwards, or they just sit on the assembly line off the side and wait.
So that's why there might be a lot of delays with not specifically saying certain locomotives, but in general, that's why there's a bit of a delay getting locomotives to the market, to the people, really, lately anyways.
And I know a lot of people still don't want to mention this. The supply chain with the ports is very challenging. You get situations where you get ports of Asia that will go into 7 to 3 weeks delays, and they just don't have any people working the dock. They don't have anybody working. So what that happens is that exaggerates a situation when you have shipments pile up. Then you get ports like LA or Long Beach or Vancouver and Rupert just bottlenecked, and then obviously the situation in Russia. I know everyone seems to think they're isolated, but it is impacting us, whether it's the availability of food supply or the price we're paying at the pumps. I mean, that's a huge chain. So again, there's ripples. I mean, we're working on bringing out our own freight car, and I'm learning how to move product international over 2 bodies of water.
Yeah, it's a lot.
With no experience in the entire field, and I'm like, okay, it's a learn. But I have my brother-in-law just started working for us about a month ago, and he has a bit of a background when it comes to international logistics. And I have a few other friends too. So I do want to say I'm repping a Mother's Life tonight. I gotta give my props out to the evil overlord.
There were a couple of people that called that out in the chat too. As soon as you came on.
I saw a few calling out the evil overlord. We have to keep the overlord happy, and especially the agitated male boy, Bruce. They're good friends of OVR and big supporters. I've been on a few of their podcasts. Great guys, Canadian guys. So give a shout out to Bruce and Lionel and the whole AML gang. They actually, you want to hear something crazy, you two? They have an event coming up called Tomstock, where it's 3 days of just crazy rail fanning, trains, They go to Tom Jacobs' property in Pennsylvania, and basically Lionel just trashes it for like 3 days. Actually, the word Tom was, "I really don't want you to degrade my property, Lionel." And Lionel's like, "It's gonna happen. Just get over it." Yeah, right there, the Quizno cowboy. Yeah, see,
The Quizno cowboy. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
he's full of Quizno all the time. So
If anybody doesn't already follow A Modeler's Life on YouTube, definitely go check them out. They do podcasts. What is it? At least once a week, once a month.
a free podcast every Monday,
Mhm.
Patreon every Tuesday, the live Zoom call every Wednesday. So there's modelers all over the world. It's really cool. I've been on a couple of them. If you join, you can get all access to all the podcasts, so you can listen to that on your favorite device. A lot of guys listen to it in their truck.
Mhm.
When we were open on May the 1st, there was a bunch of guys listening to the podcast on their way down to Woodstock. On
Huh.
one of the ones that I was on with Lionel and that.
Yeah, and there's going to be another one of you coming up at some point, right?
Yep. So yeah, it's really cool. You get the free one, the Patreon, and then the other Patreon live Zoom every Wednesday. Lionel sends out 2 to 3 shirts a year, stickers, and some other swag, and it's like, I think it works out to like $10 a month.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
So really cool. Lionel does awesome stuff. He's got neat shirts. It's another way where the community can be together and can be connected. Just like tonight. Tonight's an awesome way the community can connect and be together. And I think the last time you and I were talking, when we were talking about my freight car, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
we talk
cool.
often, but it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We more or less have a history on that side of things, and we're always talking about the day in the life of Lauren at Otter Valley and all the fun you have, right?
Well, I mean, next year will be our 20th year in business.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you
Big
kind of
celebrate.
a background of how we started and where we went.
Mm-hmm.
So we started in May of 2003. Just basically very small, special ordering, a little bit of stock. Then I went off to school. Came back after my first year, and we just started to, bring inventory in, do some more special ordering, and then train shows, and then grew out from the basement to building a shop on our family home farm. Expanded that, did a bunch of stuff. Then did some special runs, custom runs. Unfortunately, my mom passed away in 2017, and then my father and I, he retired, and I bought him out in 2019, and then we moved to Tillsonburg, and we just been expanding and making special projects, and yeah.
Couple
Where
And
were you?
Go ahead.
Sorry.
yeah,
Where were you before Tilsonburg?
so our shop was located southeast of Elmer,
Okay, that's right.
about 2.5 miles from north of Lake Erie. We had a family home farm, so we had a retail commercial shop on the farm. So kind of like an agritourism style business, but like we have always done so much online.
Yeah.
So our walk-in would be 2 to 3 guys.
I remember you from train shows way back.
I was probably younger, thinner, and had more hair too.
It's been a while. It's
Yeah.
been a while, but I remember I would always look for you guys at the shows because you always had a pretty fantastic booth.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of fun questions for you. You can kind of give us the short answer, the long answer, whatever you want to do. But because there's a lot of people that are going to be meeting you and coming out, just want to touch on a couple of things just to hear right from you. Otter Valley. So what to use Otter Valley? Where are we getting Otter Valley from?
So I grew up in a region in southern Ontario called the Otter Valley. And it is two creeks, the Little Otter and the Big Otter. And the Little Otter went through our farm, and everybody east of Elmer and west of Delhi to Tilsonburg is referred to in the Otter Valley region because it's rolling hills with these two creeks, the Big Otter or the Little Otter. The Big Otter connects and dumps into Lake Erie. So that's where the Otter Valley came from. And obviously the Otter Valley Railroad, just a natural stigma of trains. Now, obviously we go by Otter Valley trains, we go by OVR trains, but our legal name is Otter Valley Railroad.
Neat. And it was just based off of the area to which you resided in.
Which is very common for a lot of businesses and a lot of hobby shops.
Oh, for sure.
There's if you just Googled the word Otter Valley in Tilsburg, you'd probably come out with like 3 dozen different businesses that use the name Otter Valley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I would think that would be a big no-no for them.
Honestly, if I'm going to search mine, I have to put the more than just the word Otter Valley because I'll come up with other businesses in the search engine just if I want to, check on something and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So now you said that you had gone from being in a basement, like you were selling out of a basement. Was it primarily just online that you were selling at that point?
So we started in 2003, but we didn't start selling online. We didn't start selling online until August of 2009. So 2003 to 2009 was basically by appointment at the house and train shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then generally would be open all day Saturday. So we actually had about a 1,200 square foot shop in the basement.
Oh, neat. That's a pretty big basement.
Yeah.
So then you made the push to, I guess, build the. Were you on the farm or was this a different house?
Nope, this was on the farm. So we built a 2,000 square foot shop on the farm in the summer of 2011, and we were there up until December of 2019.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, because you got to expand and whatnot. Was it difficult working out of the basement? Like I imagine the same level of product, but in a basement, and I can't picture it, but at the same time I can.
I would say we were carrying less than 2% of what we carried 2%. Like there'd be maybe 30 or 35, 40,000 of inventory in the basement. Oh. Now I'm carrying multi-million dollars in inventory.
Yikes. And you're also doing a lot of collaboration or custom runs with a lot of different manufacturers.
Yep.
There was a lot that you've already put out already, and you have a whole bunch that we're waiting on. But what are we looking at? So there's RS18Us.
So from the Rapido side, what's come? We did the VIA LRC fade out blue coaches. They've come and gone. We've sold through. So thank you everybody who supported that. Really awesome run that we could do the fades and the repaints and the patches. So that was the last one we did. We did the London Transit buses, lit, non-lit, and 6 road names. We're doing the turbo, the special turbo that broke the land speed record. So that is the VIA with the CN nose in the yellow. We're doing the 5 plus the 4 add-on set. We're doing the RS18U in Trillium. We are also doing the M420 Ontario Southland Railway with Rapido. And then there's like a couple more that I haven't announced.
And did you say the E8 as well?
And the E8 as well. And we're doing the E8 VIAs. So that alone is like half a dozen.
Isn't the because you're doing the E8 in VIA? Isn't that the only Canadian E8 that's being done?
That is the only Canadian E8 with ditch lights.
Oof. And it's nice looking too. There was a couple of numbers, right, that you were doing?
Two.
I think two.
Two numbers. The Trillium units is 2 numbers. The turbo is one number, and the 5 and the 4. Yeah, honestly, I look at every time they have an announcement or I get tipped off with some stuff. I look at some options, and I almost recently did the Ontario Southland bulkheads, but OSR only has one of them, and it was just going to be too challenging to sell the number of pieces for one car. Had they had a couple, we would have done a few.
Now you did do the F7s. That was a really nice set. I think it was Atlas, right?
Yep. So Atlas, we've done OSR Jeep 7s. We've done OSR Jeep 7s. We've done ONR partition cars, the ONR blue ones, and then we have a couple unannounced projects too.
Nice. And you did mention that private label stuff. I mean, you're open to talk about whatever you want. As far as I know, that there's a lot of
I'm open to any question. There might be an odd question or two that I just not going to answer, but I'll answer any questions from the chat as well as any questions the two of you have. I think the last time you both saw it, we had the 3D sample, but many things have changed since then. So definitely ask your questions away. You could talk about, how's that work, the stress points, what made you decide to do a private label? I mean, I'm all open for any of those questions.
We have a question in the chat here from Whiskey Creek. A man of my own heart. He's asking about N scale. Do you have any N scale special runs or just HO?
So far, we've only done HO. I would like to consider some N scale runs. However, I have to make sure that we can make the minimum. A lot of that, honestly, guys, is just making the production minimum, and sometimes it can be very challenging, especially in N. And there's probably been 6 projects this year that I've turned down in HO because we just couldn't hit the minimum.
Yeah, it's tough because I mean, you don't want to hang on to anything afterwards, right? And it's probably better to clear it all out. No, you did recently do. I think the last custom run you did was a set of 6 ONR barrel ore cars and a set of 6 CN barrel ore cars, all by Rapido. Do you still have a lot left? Are you still moving them?
Less than a dozen of each.
So if anybody hasn't gotten theirs yet, there's still some custom runs. Make those super long trains. I know that there's at least 3 sets of ONR and 3 sets of CN in the large barrel ore car. So right there, that's a full train that you could do. So, and was it like 309 for a 6-pack?
309.
309. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Now, when it comes to choosing, obviously, like you'll want to make something that, like, for example, with the E8, Rapido is doing some E8s. You'll reach out and say, hey, if you're doing that E8, what about this E8? And that'll be an idea that basically you can play with as far as is this something that you guys would be willing to do, basically. But what about when it comes to doing private label, where you are taking something completely from scratch? You'd seen something, you're like, I want to do this. How do you decide, when it comes to whether it's a locomotive or a rail car, lease unit or main, the big names? How do you decide? There's so much to choose from.
So the whole concept and theory of the private label actually started 3 years ago. My business partner Andrew and I, we started to discuss. He's also a modder and a longtime friend and customer of the shop, and we started talking about eventually creating a brand extension of OVR, like the private label. And we identified 3 cars, and the first car we identified was the National Steel car 6400, high side gondola used in construction, scrap, and waste transfer. We identified that there had been no attempt on the market to produce that car. there was no car similar in age and size, and that there appeared to be no appetite from any of the major players to make it.
Mhm.
So we started collecting field research, measurements, 3D printing, and Andrew kicked out a couple 3D prints, and I started working on identifying builders, toolers, and that third party aspect, and then identifying road numbers and road names. So
Yeah.
originally we had 24 road names
Mhm.
that we identified as possible. And then when we started to work down each of the different tooling variations, build variations, truck, side rivets, or triangle bars versus non-triangle bars, we got down to like 14 road names we were interested in, and then from there we got down into the following ones we were really interested in.
So I mean, that's even right there. That's good for 2 runs because I mean, really, even if you did 6 and then you did a bunch of numbers per road name, right? And then you could do two runs of that, or would you just push it all out at once?
I'm not going to answer that one.
Okay. When is your birthday? Can you? Oh, you have me in a noose here.
Well, there's
Red
certain
tape,
things
Malcolm, red tape.
there's certain things I hold close to the vest.
I totally understand. There's no, no gun to your head. I know that there's things that you can talk about. The same thing with like I've had Jordan and whatnot on before, and I know that there's a very thin line of what you can tell us and what you can't. And I hope everybody at home still appreciates the information that you can still give us and share with us today.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's still quite a lot to look forward to as well.
I'm gonna put a question out. I see Andrew's in the chat, so Andrew, if you can comment, can I share those early green pictures?
Side question: is this the car? Now you did a thing back in, I want to say that was September or October, an event at Otter Valley.
Yeah, the Otter Valley Railroad Manufacturers pop-up event. Really cool day. We had Rapido, which Dan and Jordan gave samples, final samples, and some tooling updates. We had Claire Gilbert from Sylvan Scale Models there. And if you don't know Claire, Claire's an awesome guy, really funny guy. I love seeing Claire. Claire's like this great uncle you have, and he'll regale you with 10,000 stories. He's just awesome. He makes vehicles and boats. They're resin, but really neat Canadian manufacturer in Park Hill. We had Bernard from Mini Prints there. Really awesome guy. Showed a lot of their neat stuff they're working on. Bernard and I got to start working on partnering with some figurines that we just had come out a couple weeks back. We also had Nick and Renee from Imagine That Laser Art, ITLA Scale Models. I've known Nick and Renee for almost 20 years. I knew him before I had the shop. We had OVR. They'd been a customer of ours since the mid 2000s. I've seen Renee and Nick's boys grow up from little ones to now like their full finish university and all that stuff. So really, really cool. And then we had Ben Wang from Aurora Miniatures there.
Nice.
So again, we had as many heavy hitting manufacturers that we could possibly get without breaking COVID or border rules.
Mm-hmm.
And I was impressed for like September 21 to get 5 manufacturers, plus we got to show our 3D samples, and we had like almost 350 people walk through the door that day from 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. And then in the day we celebrated Claire from Sylvan his birthday. It was his 75th birthday, so we had cake and ice cream with Claire.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, Izzy got to push some cake in Claire's face, so she had a good time.
That sounds like it.
Yeah.
Would you ever be planning on doing another one of these in the future?
Well, right now I have no space in the store. So when everyone comes down on June the 4th, you're going to see it how well stocked OVR is. And I mean stocked. My entire dock has been expanded into now the store. The dock is gone.
No dock.
No dock.
Oh man.
So when we
That's
did the pop-up event, we used half the dock and then we used the back concrete pad.
Yep.
But the truth is, most of those manufacturers are probably not interested in doing a pop-up event because some of the shows in the States and most of the shows in Ontario and the rest of the provinces are starting to come back on board. It was a perfect fitting for the time, just like our virtual, when you did the virtual Trains Canada show, like it was the right fit for the environment at the time. It made everybody happy. It made the community happy. It connected modelers. And there wasn't like this big period of disconnect. And that's what the manufacturers pop-up event did. It gave the manufacturers that I support and I have business with connect.
And that's the thing, right? Because a lot of people asked me, are you going to do another one? A lot of people showed a lot of interest, and I appreciated everybody that took part in that and took time another day to, be online at that specific time to fill in these time slots. That was a lot of work. But just like you said, there's a time and a place for everything when it comes to even something like that, right? It's what we needed. We did it, but we're always looking to do new things. And I think, even the meet, us all coming down and meeting, it's another version of that. We're all going to, share in an experience. We're all going to go rail fanning together, and it should be a good time. And it's just the next thing, right? So,
yeah. And honestly, it was like one of the comments here I see, Forever DC 302. The pop-up literally was a safety event, and we were able to control it, but at the same time still let the modelers, see and touch and connect with the manufacturers and us. So, it was the perfect median and perfect happiness. I mean, Lionel and Bruce come out that day and they did an episode. And they interviewed all the manufacturers, plus myself, plus Andrew. They interviewed some customers. A lot of people got to meet Lionel and Bruce because, I mean, that was, Lionel and Bruce, they had a lot of people join the modeler's life.
yeah.
There was a handful of people, just like They Make It Like That. I mean, they got to meet people out there that day. There was other YouTubers that day out. So again, it was the right fit for the environment we're in.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of us are looking forward to, back to those big events that we had in 2018, 2019. I certainly am. I'm so excited for Amherst 2023. Like,
Yeah.
excited beyond belief. Like,
yeah.
So, Andrew, if you're in the chat, can I show the green pictures? Yes or no?
Everyone was saying yes except for Andrew. I did not see Andrew.
I really want to show the green pictures.
If we allow Greg Farron to speak for Andrew, then it's okay. Greg, we see you there.
I was talking with Andrew tonight and I forgot to ask him, and I'm like, I really want to show the green pictures, but
it's all good because you know what, it's still something to look forward to. And I think that we need that because it being summer, we're still waiting for a lot more announcements. At least every month, Athern tends to share a few things. And I know that in a couple of weeks, we'll be at the Rapido barbecue and they'll have a few announcements too that we'll be able to share with the general public. And that within itself it's going to be a good time. And then
that's been 3 years since that barbecue, Chris. 3 years.
2019.
And like to me as a buyer, a large buyer in the Canadian market, like my expectations for that event, I don't think any manufacturer can reach my expectations for that event.
You're way up here.
Because it's been 3 years. So like
I mean,
you almost have to have an announcement that just, creates this amazing volcano eruption on the market
Well,
because, you know, it being a 3-year gap, and yes, there's been lots of neat stuff come from them in 3 years,
yeah.
but like I've got like 3 or 4 things in my head that like I would love to see, but I just don't know if they'll do it. I just don't know.
Well, just so everybody is aware, and we can create this atmosphere, because we're setting a bar based off of what we saw the last time we were there, and that was the RS18s, the first run of the RS18s. They were tooled, and they were on the table.
Yep.
You know, all the you could see all the brass etchings and whatnot. The N scale F40s, they were tooled and they weren't painted; they were just sitting there. We had Royal Hudsons that you were picking up Royal Hudsons, like extra units to take to the store. They had just hit the shelf at that time.
Yeah, I bought 40 that day.
Yeah.
And I remember a few people are like, Lauren, why are you running around grabbing inventory? I'm like, that's sold. Get out of my way. It's going in the shopping cart.
And of course, as well, the last run of gondolas as well, the Rapido gondolas.
Yeah.
Those O&Rs sold out way too quick in the blue, and then you still managed to pick up a couple more. They're going to be hot ones. They're supposed to be coming in. The next run of gondolas are coming in maybe in 3 months or so, 2-3 months, based off of their release.
Honestly, Chris, it's really hard to go off when a container leaves and like how long it just sits and rots in a port.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard stories of some people getting their stuff moved in 48 hours, and I've heard some people having to wait 4 weeks.
That's
and
nuts.
It all depends.
It's so tricky because you know, you want it to happen sooner than what it does, and then when it arrives, it feels like everything arrives at the same time, and you're like, how am I supposed to get all this awesome stuff when it's all arriving at the same time? You know, there's a certain level of, hopefully it gets spread out a little bit, but it all just shows up at the same time, which I know is probably not their intention, but it happens, right?
It happens.
But yeah, no, it should be good because there's still lots that we're still waiting on, stuff that's going to be coming out real soon. I know that the bi-level cars, they're going to be hitting shelves soon too, and you know, there's lots that you can still pre-order if you haven't pre-ordered already. I think I mentioned earlier that the P42 deadline got pushed 2 days. Is that accurate?
I'm not submitting my PO until Monday, but I'm usually lazy, and I'm usually a day or two behind because I'm usually just behind. I know Athearn is saying tomorrow, but they generally don't submit their PO until like the following Friday. But they don't want to publicly admit that.
Well, I think they're all they're on vacation on Monday anyways. I think the states have a holiday on Monday. I might be wrong about that. But
the memorial.
Yeah. So they won't be getting any emails anyways or answering any of those. Let's see.
And the truth is, I kind of want to just wait because I know there's a lot of people waiting for that last minute. So I'll put a notification on the weekend saying last minute to pre-order. But again, it's going to be one of those really popular Canadian models, so I'm planning to have slack and extra stock. So I plan accordingly. It's just I'm kind of thinking like it really needs cars, so I'm hoping another manufacturer picks up the hint and delivers some cars.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, we need more cars. There's been a lot of locomotives lately, but yeah, we definitely need something to pull. So
you can never have not too many Via passenger cars.
No. Me specifically, never have enough. I've got lots of room.
No.
I'll build an extension.
Chris, you need some go cars.
They're coming. They're coming.
It's in the name of your channel. You don't even have a go train on your layout.
Yeah, well, as soon as Rapido announced theirs, I got rid of all my Athearns because I'm like, well, you know, I want something a little bit more prototypical. So even though, you know, you put a bit of work into them and they run just fine, but Yeah, I'm a sucker for that Rapido stuff. So
So I messaged Andrew, so hopefully he answers me back and I can share these. So I see a couple messages in the chat. I'll answer a few of them.
Yep.
Is there any new arrivals next week at OVR? There might be. You'll see. Bubs Expressway. Be patient, my friend.
He doesn't look patient.
Derek,
he's not patient. He's not patient. Bless him, but
patience is a virtue, my friend. If you show them, please indicate what U.S. road names. Derek, there's many cool and awesome U.S. road names in our car. I'll leave it at that. Comment about Rapido sound decoders. Rapido has no decoders right now to load their specialized proprietary files, so that's why they're not available right now in the market. I've had so many people ask for those, but another function of limited supplies in the supply chain. K-Town Railfan. Lauren, is there a delivery date for the Aurora engine? Well, I can give you guys all an update on the Aurora engine. One, it's still in production at the factory. They were finishing some final paint, but it might be delayed due to, you got it, DCC chip shortages, Chris. A theme here tonight.
it's unfortunate, but it's real, and
Yeah.
just trying to get through the day.
Yep. Bubs, how's my layout coming? I have to do 2 repairs, and then I can get back working on the whole loop. My brother-in-law has been helping me a lot with the layout, so once we get rolling again, we're going to start actually putting the helix likely in before the fall. And then I want to get the top deck tracked out and then cut out. And then I'm happy with the track plan up there. Make sure there's no kinks. I run a lot of big modern equipment, Chris, like 89-foot high cubes, 89-foot auto racks. I have 2 schnabels. I mean, if anything go through a schnabel, it's good.
Does it work on your amazing bridge?
If I don't have it already derailing before it enters the bridge.
That's the thing. That's the ticket, right? And the whole bridge is done at that point.
Yeah.
That's all. And you've got that huge train of just pink cars, the ocean, the Ocean Network Express cars.
We call that the Izzy Express. So that's Izzy 1.
Izzy
so
1.
it's a unit train of 40, 45, and 20-foot 1 containers. Funny story. My favorite container company is actually K-Line.
K-Line, yeah.
And K-Line is part of 1 now. Do you remember Mole that had the alligator? You too? Remember the alligator on the containers?
Yeah.
Mole, K-Line, and NYK became Ocean Network Express, also known as the 1. Really cool company and really cool branding. So yeah. So that's it. Come on, Andrew.
Is your layout at your house, Lauren, or is it in the shop?
My layout?
Yeah, is it at your house or is it in the shop?
My layout's in my basement.
Oh, right on.
I wanted to put a brand new layout in, but unfortunately, with how red hot the real estate market was in our area and how limited commercial buildings were available in lots, we've actually are staying at our existing space. I renewed my lease for 5. So I actually wanted to build a brand new layout in the brand new building and go a Fremo.
Yeah.
And yeah. So that kind of got put on hiatus a bit. So yeah.
And I don't want to keep you all night because I know you're a super busy guy, and I really appreciate you already.
I got lots of time. I gladly answer pretty much every question. I'm trying to stall to get Andrew to let me show these pictures because they're pretty impressive.
Yeah. Next
yeah,
train show. What's the next train show you're doing? Any plans?
Amherst 2023.
Amherst 2023.
The Big E, Springfield.
What about? Are they ever going to bring back Super Train?
Our private label will be at the show.
Ooh. So you'll have like the actual thing, or just the samples by then?
Well, we might actually have the entire production run.
Ooh. Soon
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's 2023, you said April of 2023?
No, January 23.
January. So within the next 6 months or so, you'll be receiving
Correct.
the Otter Valley custom run or special run.
OVR Trains is actually the label.
OVR Trains.
Yeah, I'm actually rebranding the two companies. So OVR or Otter Valley Railroad will be rebranded in the next month with a brand new website.
Mm-hmm.
And the private label will actually become OVR Trains line.
Nice.
So you're actually going to see two brand new websites from us. The private label and then the brand new main hobby shop website. So that's been a big problem coming.
Well, hopefully we get an exclusive once you get your samples or your cars in, and we can have you back, and then you can show them off. But if anybody doesn't already follow these guys, well, they make it like that, which is Tim over here and Lauren from Otter Valley or OVRtrains.com, both on YouTube. So go make sure you follow, because Lauren, you do post a lot of videos as well on YouTube, and also Facebook, Instagram as well. You do a lot of lives as well from the layout with you and the little one running trains and stuff.
Yeah, so you can follow us on facebook.com/OVRtrains. You can also join our Facebook Otter Valley Railroad group. So just ask to join, and one of us will connect you. You can also watch us on our YouTube. I don't really post that many more videos, Chris, honestly. I will once we get rolling with the private label, but I haven't Railfan for a while. This private label takes another 5 to 10 hours out of my time every week, on top of my full-time job and the shop. So it's like having two more children. Well, maybe one. Maybe one. But
you also
yeah,
you started doing the videos as well. You have to forgive me, I forget the gentleman's name, but you've been doing some videos where you're showing off some new products that you get in as well.
Yeah, so that's we call him Papa Pete. Papa Pete or Peter Muzzin. He does a video once a month with me called "What's New This Month at OVR." I'm gonna show a teaser.
Oh, do I close that for now, or do you want me to leave that up there?
You can leave. Everyone see that?
Yes.
Hold on.
Chris just broke the internet. What's going on here?
Do you see the screen?
Yes.
You see the green?
I think Tim just broke it.
I thought I was still muted. Sorry.
No. So I don't see the green. I just see an echo of. I just see it. No, I just saw the echo of everything, like what what I see.
Let me see if I can fix the share screen. Hold on.
Oh.
There we go. All right. Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, we lost it.
Yeah.
We had it. I saw.
I'm just trying to make sure everyone's okay. Well, I'm going to talk about the card, and I didn't want to. Everyone's good. Okay. So this is the end of the car.
Yep.
This is the second casting out. So this is the preliminary first casting and first drawing, and that's one of the first paint schemes.
So this one is specifically going to be green, or is it just?
It's dumpster green.
Dumpster green. Okay.
Yeah.
And are these brass etchings here that will like, or will that
That's all.
be brass?
The end's all brass.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you doing rubber hoses?
And that's one of the other paint schemes. And that's my tease for the night.
Oh.
It looks like there's so much room for activities on that car.
Mm.
But maybe that's just me.
It's a deep car, right?
It's a 6,400 cubic foot car.
And no one has actually ever made these before, you were saying.
They've never been made.
Do you know why? Is it just lack of interest, or is it still a fairly modern car that no one's gotten around to it?
It's been produced since 2004 to present day.
Oh, really?
And that last picture I showed, those cars are less than a week old.
Well, I was going to say they're very clean for scrap service.
It doesn't take too long until those cars look like utter trash.
Oh.
So yeah. So we are actually going to be receiving likely our final tooling sample in the next month.
Ooh.
So this is moving quick, but like I said, and I'm going to leave this at that, there will be a formal announcement with all the road names in the next month or two. So definitely follow us on our Facebook, on our YouTube, sign up for our newsletter, and yeah.
Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on?
This is the first of 5 cars to come.
First of 5. Well, I'm excited. I mean, I was already excited because, from what, we talk about. But, yeah, this is something that I think that a lot of people, I think everybody at least has some sort of scrap or, garbage industry that they can really use these cars and bring them into their layout and incorporate them.
Yeah.
Do you normally see now I'm yet to see these cars in real life, but do you normally see them just the scrap cars all together, or is it usually in a mixed manifest?
So let's talk about the scrap cars first. Scrap cars, you have to be careful on which version you're looking at. So the one we're doing is the 6400. A lot of the other scrappers use the 6000, same builder, and that's the car that we're planning on doing later down the road. So the predominant owner of the scrap cars is AIM, CBMX, and a couple other odd end leasers. So you'll see them going between shears or scrappers, but you'll see material actually in them. You will not see bales, which is common in Gons and some of the older bathtubs.
Oh.
So you'll see them in that. The next industry that you'll see a lot of these cars in is cleaning up construction and cleaning up waste and debris. So a lot of these cars were used in 9/11 for cleaning up World Trade Centers. A lot of these cars are also used in large construction jobs that require a lot of leftover material and waste, and also in any decommissioning. So if you have a power plant or a large production plant that's getting decommissioned, these cars come in actually for the construction site. And the big buyer, and I'll get to Mike B's question in a second. And the big buyer is actually waste transload, Chris.
Yep.
So if you're an American listening to the show, you guys know that out of the state of New York and New Jersey, there's somewhere between 200 and 250 rail cars moved out a day.
That's a lot.
A day. Now, they use a variety of cars in New York and New Jersey, Chris. So they will use our open NSC. They will also use the Greenbrier, and they also will use some reconditioned cars. But they also use containerized bulk containers as well.
Yeah.
Right now, my favorite live rail cam to watch. So if anybody who wants to check out a cam, I watched the Northeast cam from Pennsylvania, which is available from the Railroad Museum, the Lake Erie Railroad Museum. And I watched that one because there's 4 trains a day with scrap and trash cars a day.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So where can you see this car? So garbage service, you can see this car in the following states: New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Kansas City, California, Texas, Mexico, and also in Missouri. So again, the car moves. Where do you see the scrap car? Anywhere there's a scrapping facility or anywhere that there's a steel facility that takes the scrap materials. So you have a multitude of provinces and multitude of states that can support these cars.
Is there have you seen any specific locomotives or locomotive types pulling these cars to kind of give some of the listeners a bit of an idea of how they could build one of these trains themselves, or what would be pulling?
Every class 1 handles these cars.
Any class 1.
So BNSF runs cars out of California. UP
Mhm.
runs cars in the Midwest. NS runs cars out of New York and New Jersey. CSX run cars daily. CN and CP run cars in and out of Toronto and Hamilton from scrap and construction waste. Short lines like Ontario Southland, short lines like Goderich and Exeter, short lines like SOR, short lines like the Western New York and Pennsylvania. Even some of the independent plant scrappers, like going into U.S. Steel or Stelco. You could even have plant scrappers switching these cars around. So it's very cool.
So it looks like it's almost like the perfect car to, for anybody really. A lot of U.S. presence, a lot of Canadian presence as well with this car, and depending on what road name or what industry, I guess, based off of scrap or garbage, right?
So we could break it down to a couple things. One, if you were running a scrap yard, you could easily have two or three of these cars spotted for a scrapper, and have them go from the scrapper in either in service or to the mill. Second option, you could also have a independent scrapper. So for instance, you could have mom and pop scrappers or J&J scraps, and they take a handful of cars and you use like a shears and all those other kits from Walters. You could also do trash, and you could get one of either the Walters Lakeview Warehouse or a Pike Stuff kit with a corrugated steel sides, Chris. Those are awesome kits.
Yeah, love those.
And either use die-cast Masters vehicles or Kebra stuff to pull the trash in and out, or, and this is another tidbit to the people listening tonight, our car will work in the Walters rotary dump, which is prototypical to where they finally end up at some of the large landfill and transfer sites in the States.
Yeah, that's a nice kit, and you still have all these readily available as well.
Oh yeah, they'll be deep stock when the car arrives.
Now, for selling the car, again, whatever right? Whatever you can tell us. Are you just selling them all as singles, or are you doing like the 6-pack, or are you selling in 3s?
We're going to be doing a multitude of different ways of selling. So there'll be options for singles, there'll be options for assortments, there'll be options for sets.
Nice.
So once we make the formal announcement, then it'll show how the sales will be structured.
There you go, Mike. That was a question from Mike there, that asking about the numbers of cars there. Yeah, and then obviously you said something about pre-orders. As soon as you get your samples in and whatnot, you make your formal announcement. That'll go live on the website to make your pre-orders, right?
Yeah. So Andrew answered me back. So he said, "Yeah, I'm going to share it." So I'm going to put back the end detailing back up, and I'll kind of explain to you how that end ribbing works. Okay.
All right. A lot of people asking for AIM.
AIM is on the list. So this is the end detail. As you see, it has the coupler cup levers. It has the end throw bars. It has rotating bearing trucks. That's right, rotating bearing trucks.
Ooh.
100-ton trucks. Amazing underbody detail.
Mm-hmm.
You got to admit, Chris, those look pretty awesome, don't they?
Yeah, it's pretty fresh, and I do like the coloring as well for this one. I didn't know that the caps were rotating. That's really nice. It's a nice feature to have. Not a lot of
And the
companies do
brake
that.
wheel and the brake wheel and chain, we're planning it to be etched.
Etched, nice. Do you know what kind of couplers you're going with, or?
That's another supply issue. So it's either going to be a KD 158 or a clone with a 158 provided in the box.
Oh, nice. And are those all on the end there in each riveted?
That's the ribbings.
In the rim, yeah. There's a grab iron in each one of those. I'm seeing.
That's right.
That's a lot of detail.
Yeah. This quite possibly could be the most detailed car to come on the market yet.
I have to go full screen for this because that looks really good.
Yeah.
Are those grab rails in between there? Are they plastic or are they brass?
They're gonna be a very thick cellophane, but they'll be scale size.
I like it.
Yeah.
It has my stamp of approval.
And you notice that each one of those has the ribbings and also has the corrugated spots too on each of them. See all the corrugated spots? All that'll be on our model as well.
And I'm assuming both ends, besides the brake wheel, are the exact same, basically.
Exact.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah, no, I like that. Oh, I like that shot. Yeah. Now,
and if you notice, Chris, you see that little bit of light?
Yeah. Let me go full screen so I can see that a
That
little bit better.
that is a design of the NSC which we have, which is the angled rise corners.
Oh, and it's just kind of cut out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
and we're also working on, and Tim will like this. We're working on a weathered floor.
Might that be something from whatchamacallit? Oh, the name it has left me.
ITLA?
ITLA.
No,
Wow.
the weathered floor will likely be to the fact that how we have the weight structured, because the weight's going to be in the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, so it has proper weighting.
Yeah, no, that's nice.
Yeah.
What about brass? Has no brass units ever done of this car? I know that sometimes
the brass market pretty much has faded off since the early 2000s.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they probably wouldn't have touched that then. Huh. Well, it's a very impressive car, and I can definitely see myself adding a couple of those things. I've got a scrapyard myself, so.
Now tell me how beautiful that paint scheme is.
It's like a forest.
Oh, hunter green.
Yeah.
Awesome hunter green.
It's nice it's a nice touch with the yellow. Now,
with the shield too.
With the shield. Is it actually? Are you using the reflective stuff?
Yes.
Oof. Sold.
I'm all about the modern.
I mean, and the thing is that a lot of these things that you're mentioning here, not a lot of other companies are doing this. They don't invest the time or to put the value into each of these cars. Like the rotating caps and the weathered flooring and whatnot, and certain other little details. They don't normally touch it, but you're going there, right? You're
This is the first of 5 that we have on the drawing board.
Oh wow.
And if all goes well, this will be available in the first quarter of 2023.
Is that something that you're going to keep stocked all the time? Like you'll just have readily available?
Hard to say.
Yeah.
Like you and I both know, it's going to be a production number set. So Obviously, there'll be a production number made.
Mhm.
Now, if the subscription and the demand is high, then it could very well possibly that it sells out within a few days after arrival.
Yeah.
I mean, this will be on display at the Springfield and Amherst show in 2023. I mean, that's in itself is a huge launching pad
Oh, for sure.
in a car in a market that this car dominates,
Mhm.
like New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts. Trash is big business in the States.
Oh yeah.
Big business. I mean, but like a comment on there, Aim's a big buyer of these cars too. So rest assured, there is lots of different Aim versions that we will be offering as well.
And as far as colors, I'm assuming depending on the road name, right? That's what it's based off of for colors.
As you saw, the Cardella is basically the dumpster green.
Mhm.
Aim is gray. They do have black ones. The black one is a smaller car, which we do have planned later down the road.
Mhm.
But you have some other ones. You have the hunter green. There's some red. There's some brown. There's some black. There's some beige. There's some off-white. It's going to be lots of color.
Nice.
Lots of variety.
That's very exciting. Yeah, and you said there was a bunch of different road names for these, right? How many road names did you say? 14, right? That you settled
14.
on?
Yeah,
14.
once we make the formal announcement, then we'll show everyone the road names we're doing.
Oof.
So
I just
teased the Cardella tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, even that within itself, I definitely I want to see the red one for sure. The red one.
The Cardella, everyone's told me, is just eye candy for a car, and like obviously, it's gonna get any end user's gonna graffiti, bust some of the sides up, bust some of the ends up, do some denting. I mean, these cars get natural dents pretty much every time they get dumped. So again, they're not that commonly graffitied, Tim. So you're not going to see that many cars yet graffitied. Some of the gray first runs they are graffitied. The problem is these cars literally just go from getting trash inside a compound to running on the track to going to a landfill and back. So there's not many places where they can get tagged in between, but there is a good number.
Try and stop me.
There is a good number of cars that are tagged. I mean, auto racks are notorious, Chris, for getting tagged.
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes auto racks will sit in long-term storage and they're like, oh look, there's 40 auto racks. Come back 2 weeks later, half of them are tagged.
Yep. Oh yeah.
If you want to see one of those dumpster cars tagged, just wait till I get my pre-order.
Yeah, but you know the car that I always love seeing, but they're tagged to smithereens, is the white ARM box cars. You know, the big reefer style box cars.
Oh yeah, yep.
And basically they're a white reefer billboard. And through the years, Chris, they actually had to raise the numbers and the markings up, so the taggers didn't destroy the markings on the car that they needed to recognize the cars in yards.
Yeah,
those are the big refrigerator units, right?
Yeah, the big ARM and box cars.
I think Tim was working on one of those a couple of months ago, I think, because his brother does HO. He probably went to go get it, knowing him. But yeah.
This one.
Yep, the big white ones. Yeah.
Block our faces.
Yeah,
they're really nice. You still have some of those, right? The ones with sound.
Yeah, I have the Atlas ones, and I also have the Southern Genesis ones too.
Nice.
Yeah,
they're really nice cars. You don't see too many of those out there. Well, I mean, around here, anyways. But
every so often you'll see a couple, but like you're not seeing unit trains because like we don't have produce trains compared to California and some of the other states in the United States.
Oh yeah, it gets way too hot. They need the refrigerator units.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Now for next week, because we'll probably wrap things up soon. I know Tim has to get to bed. He's gonna have his juice and then he's gonna go off to bed. So for next week, you guys normally open at 10 a.m.
9 on Saturdays. So
9
we're
okay.
Saturday is 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
I will have a few things planned out locally for guys to see in town. Whether it's to go over to the Geo Rail yard to see the short line Geo Rail, which they have a GP9U.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's I've got a couple contacts at OSR, so maybe we could, see their grounds on the way back. And then if there's an appetite for more rail fanning, then I think the best option would be likely the VIA station at Ingersoll on the CN main line,
Mm-hmm.
or at the Woodstock VIA station, because the CP is also about 2 minutes away in town as well.
Neat. So you get a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah. But again, OSR should be out that day, so that's another one of those options. But yeah, it's a really picturesque drive. So I would suggest everyone, if you're coming down on the 401, take Highway 19. You'll go by the OSR shops. You'll roll through the countryside, and you get to kind of come in the backside of Tillsborough and kind of see, the quaintness of life in Norfolk and Oxford.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And if there's other people that day that are looking for other activities to do, whether it's they want to go have a nice meal with their spouse or their significant other, or they want to go to a winery or a bar antique or that, I'll also have some stuff for other events you can do in the Otter Valley and in the Norfolk region there too.
Now, Bernard was in the basement for a little bit there. He's got the patience of a saint. He left, but he did want to mention to everybody, if anybody's ordering from Mini Prince this week, technically he can just drop them off to you on Saturday when he does, because he's coming as well. So make sure that if you do place any orders, to let him know. And obviously it's free delivery when you come and meet up, and then he'll hand you your brand new Mini Prints, whatever you get. And then, yeah, so just let him know. And that's obviously just this week only. So sorry, Bernard, if you're listening, sorry. No, it was kind of like one of those unplanned things. He kind of showed up, and I feel bad, but
he waited a long time too.
He did. But I mean, when it's not planned, right? It's hard to kind of find a segue. But Lauren has the Mini Prints police officers as well for the Impala. Is it the Impala that was the police car, or
Impala?
Yeah.
You could always use them with the Caprice and say the Caprice is undercover.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Wasn't there a black one? I know they did like
dark blue.
Different colors. Dark blue. Oh, okay.
Yeah. A lot of people are loving those cars right now, especially the baby blue Woodies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of people
about it.
I think a lot of people were like, one time or another, whether it was their parents or their grandma or aunt and uncle had a Woody. So I think there's a lot of like sentimental. I never had a relative that had a wood grain vehicle. I had friends who did. I remember my grandparents, they had a big LT, then they had big Grand Marquis and Crown Vics and like Lincolns. So like, yeah.
I think there's a lot of stories from, that people could tell about piling into the back of the old station wagon and going down to the drive-in.
10 kids deep.
Yeah.
Back then we didn't have to have seatbelts on, kids.
Way before the SUV, right?
Everybody pile in Grandma's car.
Yeah, no, it's a classic for sure. It was definitely a good choice. I can't wait to see if they do like I really want a Fleetwood Cadillac, maybe like an 85 or an 86, something like that. But like,
well, the one I'm thinking they're gonna do next, and this is like an out there, but I can kind of see it. It's like maybe one of the first or two generation minivans.
Okay. Yeah.
The classic Chrysler minivan with the early wood grain with the steel rack.
Yeah.
But I think Jordan would likely want it, but I don't think it would fit in Jason's like layout. It's crazy on those vehicles. Like I bet you, and I don't know this because I've heard rumblings before, but like I have a suspicion that most of that cost of that price is just pure licensing.
Probably.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a car that doesn't light up or anything, it has to be the licensing.
Because my brother and I were looking at the shop, Burkina cars, if they're Chrysler or Mopar, are actually cheaper than a GM car.
Really?
And a Ford's cheaper than a GM car.
Huh.
So it's got to be the licensing per diem difference.
Yeah, I know like Atlas and Mini Metals in N scale, they produce a lot of Fords. Like
Yeah.
all of the trucks for like CN and any rail like road name branded pickup trucks, they're all F-150s from like the early 90s.
Yep.
Oh wow.
River Point a while back, Chris, they did a lot of F-150, 250s, 350s, and 450s.
Yeah.
And then remember, Atlas used to have the classic F-150, the standard two-door classic one. You remember that one, Tim? Where it was like the early 2000s, right up until like I want to say like 2008, 2009, when they went to more of a square box. It was like the curve style, like, and I mean they made Explorers. Like Atlas has made Explorers for years.
Yeah.
And they've been really expensive.
Atlas just put out the CN and the CP pickup trucks, right? Was that Atlas that did that? I think it was Atlas that just released those. With the I think it's just a crew cab, something like that. I can't remember but I think it is an F-150.
There's a vehicle I'd love to see.
Oh jeez.
There you go. There's a CN F-150.
Hey Chris, we need a LeBaron and a New Yorker. Remember the New Yorker?
Yeah. Actually, growing up, my friend who was from Lebanon, he had a LeBaron, so I called it the Lebanon. Are we taking the Lebanon?
Yeah, I see Robert Levin's got it there. Lebanon of LeBaron. I'm like, yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, where like it was a convertible, but it locks right above the sunshade that comes down. So you have to pull it down and unlock it, and then pull it all the way back, and then tuck it in. Yeah, never do that when you're moving though.
I remember in grade 8. So in grade 8, we had a class where you could do like an activity. So our activity was the teacher took us all to the bowling alley, like 2 miles down the road. So he'd come back and like four or five kids at a time in his New Yorker, and it's like old wood grain inside, funky fur, and it's like clearly the New Yorker needs to be made because it's like what we need? We need like Dick. What's that movie where they were bad guys and they had all these like hot rod cars? Dick. Remember, and like they had this like, "Hey kid, don't be like that." You know the one I'm thinking of, Dick Tracy.
Yeah.
They had a lot of like cool cars in that movie, but like people always complain like, "We don't want any more Mustangs. We don't want any more muscle cars." I'm like, I drive a Mustang. I want every Mustang that they make.
Yeah, I mean, well, like, Tim is big with the Hot Wheels because him and his son, they collect all the Hot Wheels and whatnot. I'm like that, but with like all the Lancers. So I've got like a black one, a white one. I try to collect all like the cars that I like. But it's nice to see that manufacturers are starting to do a bit more of the modern stuff, or at least trying to get some brand name cars to add that realism, right?
Yeah. There was another company out there called Moonlight. You guys ever heard of Moonlight? They do like celebrity and movie stuff. You've heard of that one, right, Tim? Yeah, I think they did like The Walking Dead, where they had like the RV and the Winnebago and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like you gotta remember, guys, they're selling it like not like 5,000-10,000 pieces. They're selling 200 to a quarter million pieces because they're selling it to like your Walmarts and everybody to get like economies of scale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it easier to sell like a car, like an HO scale car, like in a larger quantity?
Back in like early 2000s, Walmart's, your Zellers, your Targets, they used to sell 187 vehicles by Model Power and Fresh Cherries, if you remember that name.
Yeah, I remember that.
Model Power.
But they all disappeared.
Yeah.
The problem with those that I found really annoying is that they were always like Porsches and Audis and like really fancy high-end cars. You never saw like average everyday normal cars. You know what I mean?
I think there was a lot of Pintos. I remember somebody telling me there was a
And
lot
yeah,
of
a
fresh
lot
cherry
of Pintos and
Pintos.
Gremlins.
Yeah, Gremlins. Yeah, that was a Gremlin one.
And my brother has a modern HO layout, and he scooped a few Gremlins and Pintos and back when they were selling them at Walmart. But like, how many do you need? You only need one or two if you're modeling modern, because how often do you see them, right? So
Well, even for you, Tim, right? Like if you're modeling Brampton, you need at least like a couple of dozen Honda Civics.
no, in Brampton you need Dodge Chargers.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
There
the
are a
times
dime a
have
dozen
changed.
out here.
All it
Everybody
was
and their
was-
mother drives a Dodge Charger.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
The times have changed because, like, you know, growing up in Brampton or whatever, you know, it was everybody had a Honda Civic or
I
That
thought
was
Jetta.
everywhere 10, 15
I-
years ago, though.
Chris, I grew up with the Z21 or the Chevy Cav.
Yep.
I
Chevy
hated it.
Cavalier.
I hated the
great car.
Chevy Cab. I hated the Chevy Cab. Everybody had it. They thought they could soup it up.
Yeah.
I
Do you,
still have one.
Do you know your Volkswagens? My mom had a Fox, a Volkswagen Fox. Now
Okay.
they re-released the Rabbit, and I don't know how many Jettas they've done, but they didn't re-release the Fox. Super old. Super. I don't know when it was. It was probably like 80, 82. I don't know. It might have been before that, but
Yeah.
same, a little bit smaller than the Jetta of the time, but yeah, weird looking car. Oh well. But yeah, no, we'll wrap things up here because it's hitting 10 o'clock, and yeah, no, we've covered a lot, and now I'm really thankful that you guys came out for this, and I know, Tim, it was kind of last minute, but I'm still happy that you came by, and Lauren, you know, showing us the new car, the car that's on the way. So everybody, wait for that. Wait for the big announcement, and then you'll be able to get your pre-orders in. There's
I got a thing to ask of Tim.
Oh, go ahead.
Tim, how would you like to do a special? They made it like that from start to beginning of how Andrew and I made this car to final delivery.
Oh, absolutely. I was actually going to talk to you about that after.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would love to.
Because I know Andrew was talking to me about kind of doing like a synopsis or, you know, a start to beginning kind of video.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. That would be really cool.
Sorry, I just wanted to point this out. Someone knows what I'm talking about. I'm not crazy, I swear.
All I have to say is what the fox said. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I guess. So for next month, Tim, are you still good for the 2nd?
I sure am. Yeah.
Cool. And then I'm doing a Third Rail Thursday on the 9th. Mark is on the 16th. We don't know who's doing the 23rd, but we'll be back here for GVO After Dark and keeping track. June 30th.
We still haven't figured that out yet, have we?
You know, I wanted to surprise everybody and get Dave to do one, but he's really swamped, so I don't even know. I don't know.
All that traffic reporting, he's so busy.
He never gets my emails, so it happens.
And you're doing a special live on the 4th, Chris? You're doing a special live on the 4th?
I probably
Good.
Also a lot of recorded stuff. I think I'm going to do a whole, like, my next keeping track next month, not to spoil anything, but spoiler warning. I'm probably going to do a whole overview of everything. So Friday, Saturday, and all the rail fanning and whatnot as well, and put it together in a nice little package for keeping track for the end of
just spitballing here, Chris, if you want, because obviously we're not going to like go live the whole day or anything like that, but I was thinking if you want to go live and then bounce over to me and I'll go live, or vice versa.
Yeah,
I think that could be really cool for the people that actually able to make it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
For the people.
Yeah, 'cause I know that there's still going to be a lot of people that can't make it for whatever reason. You know, and we had talked about this too, because you know, this is more or less we're testing the waters for this, but you're pushing for an annual thing where we do this every year, where we do a gathering every year, and I think it'd be good, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what we can make of this, and hopefully everybody has a good time. And again, shout out Lauren for hosting us there at Otter Valley, and opening up his doors to all us hooligans who are probably gonna touch all the trains.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. And the pizza.
Sparky was saying there better be a lot of pizza, because he can eat a lot of pizza. So you're gonna have to limit that guy. So
I gotta go easy on him. I still gotta beat him up over that broken glass sheet. Thanks again, Chris, for having me. Tim, good to see you.
Yeah, you as well.
Definitely, we're gonna connect on doing a time capsule video of the freight car coming out. Yeah, I'm excited for the 4th. I will see if I can have the princess with me as well. And yeah.
Oh, and one more thing. Big shout out to Tom, Sparky, Mike, and for anybody else who did share that we're doing the event. So thank you for the shout outs and for spreading the good word. We really appreciate it. We could do this, but doing this with you guys is 10 times better, and we're really looking forward to next week. So look forward to some lives on the 4th from Tim and myself. We'll probably be doing some coverage of that throughout the day, and then we'll probably be posting. Well, everyone's gonna be posting videos.
Yeah, I'll be filming all day.
Lots of pictures. I'm gonna have to put on my my smiling beard, because apparently I never look like I smile. So yeah, I'll be taking lots of pictures and shaking lots of hands. So all right, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight, and everybody watching from home, all the comments, questions, and Lauren and Tim, thank you so much for joining me too. This is GVO After Dark. I'm Go Veer, Go Home.
I'm They Make It Like That.
And I'm OVRtrains.com.
There you go.
That was almost smooth. That was almost smooth. OVRtrains.com. Go check them out. And make sure you subscribe to these guys. Go subscribe. Go follow. They always do awesome stuff. And he sells awesome stuff. So I get all my stuff.
And now we make awesome stuff soon to come.
That's awesome. Right. You make it like that.
You heard it here probably first. But
it's more like Tim. I want it like that.
Yeah.
You guys are great. All right, everybody have a great night, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
Take care, guys.